Yo, what is up, guys? This is Chase Oliver 68 here, bringing you another review for my channel. Not an Impact Wrestling review. Sorry about that, guys. False alarm there. I thought I was going to review it, but turns out it was too late to do that. But this review is a certain video game that just came out recently. It came out actually the 14th of February. And if you like video game reviews and you like the game series Kingdom Hearts, on my second channel, CO Live Videos, shortly following this upload, there should be a video of the review of the second installment to that game, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories for the Game Boy Advance. So go check out that second channel, CO Live, if you want to see more video game reviews. But this one has to relate to sports, so I'm going to review it. The new UFC Undisputed 2012. I rented this from Blockbuster, if you can't tell, from the $2.99 rental. Yes, we still have Blockbusters, people. I'm fucking surprised as you are. I rented this actually on Tuesday, just finally got to sit down and play it, and boy, let me tell you about this game. Now, before I go into this review, let me repeat, this is a review for the video game itself, not for the MMA fans, not for everything else. This is for the video game itself, for video game fans that love to play video games. If it was an MMA fans review, it would be a totally different review, but this is a video game review, so let's get started on this. So, what is UFC Undisputed 3? UFC Undisputed 3 is the sequel to the UFC games. They were going from the 2009, the first game that they released from the revamping from Tap Out, First Strike, I believe it's called, like all these other different UFC games they used to have. So pretty much they revamped the whole series and made it to the Undisputed series, and this is the third installment. And the third installment is produced by THQ and Ukes, the same company that produces the WWE games, if you guys did not know. This game you are allowed to also play not only in the UFC but also in Pride as well. So what is added to the game? What's the difference? What's so cool about this game? Why is people raving about it? The graphics to this game, I cannot say they did a really good job. Just like what they did with WWE 12, everything looks very good and polished in this game. I think it even looks better than WWE 12. The UFC events just look absolutely awesome. Awesome, I mean, in this game. I mean, seriously, I've never seen the events look this cool in my life. I really do like what they did with the UFC graphics in this game. Now, the gameplay. What's the gameplay like? Hold up, let me get a controller so people can understand, and I'll be getting a PS3 controller. As you can see, my controllers are on because I am currently playing the game. I just finished career mode, and I'll get into that. So the controls to this game. What are some of the controls to this game? Well, we do not know, and this is going to be hard to hold, but as you can see the controllers here, your Y, X, B, and A buttons, and your square, triangle, circle, and X buttons are basically your punch and kicks. That's pretty much the gist of it all. That's how you do it. It's like the punch of kicks. The left stick and then the left analog stick for these games are pretty much your movement. That's how you move in this game. Right bumper, R2, right trigger, R1 are like your defense buttons. Like it's where you guard. LT and L2 and LB and L1 are your modifiers for your moves. And then the right stick is your setup, the clinch. And then when you modify that, you can do a takedown. And when you click it down, you can basically do a submission when you're on the ground. I don't know if you can do a stand-up submission. I think you have to earn points for that. I haven't tried it, but you can do different type of submissions. Very cool. So yeah, that's basically the main interface. I just want to show the buttons. I know I couldn't really touch the buttons to show you, but yeah, that's pretty much what you do. So those are the control aspects of the game. Hope the visual effects helped you all out there. But yeah, that's pretty much the control. And the gameplay, it looks fluid. You know, I thought that, you know, the UFC, it looked clunky in the past. It didn't look so good. These ones, it looks good. Sometimes it can get sloppy. Sometimes it can be hard to execute the moves. And sometimes it can just be annoying and aggravating with these moves. And that's why I like it. You know, the kicks look nice. The punches look nice. The fighters look nice. Everything just looks really nice. And the gameplay adds to it. Now, before I start out, many people are probably that have never played a UFC game or do not know what the UFC are and are going to pick up this game. I advise you, and I really do, if you are new to the UFC, if you used to watch UFC, fell off and said, hey, maybe I'll try this game out, and you haven't learned and you do not know the basics, the gist of MMA, please play this game mode on beginner. Because I've seen people on YouTube who've never played UFC before, or watch UFC or used to watch UFC, they've been playing it and they're like, oh my god, this game is so fucking annoying, it's so hard. Well, if you don't understand the terminology right now in MMA, if you don't understand what's been going on in MMA, you're really not going to be able to grasp this game and do a really, really good job on it. Start on beginner. Don't try to think, oh, the skill set in campaign mode told me to go to advanced. I'm going to do advanced. No, don't. Just go on beginner, learn the game, and then later on, once you're done, bam. Now let's go over the different type of modes that are in this game. In this mode, you got your usual exhibition mode. Exhibitions where you can use the fighters are 150 plus fighters. And when I mean 150 plus, you know, including the downloadable content. Like if you went to Best Buy, I believe you got a legendary chocolate Dale. If you went to EB Games, GameStop, wherever it's called down there, you got the contenders pack where you got all these different fighters. Where if you went to, I believe it was, if you pre-order off Amazon, you get like a Strike Force pack or something. You get like a different pack. I forgot what it's called. There's like different stuff, or I forgot what it was, but you get extra stuff. So there's a lot of extra stuff, especially like the new update they put there on Xbox Live and PSN, the season pass where you can get downloads. It's pretty much like fan access to WWE. You get a free Alistair Overeem. And so pretty much when it comes down to the career mode, how long is career mode? You know, you've been playing it. Career mode is probably a solid, I want to say, depending on how skilled you are at the game. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best at this game. I'm not. I played on the advanced level. They told me, hey, go play this game. You know, I played the previous 2 UFC games before. I said, okay, why not? And I did fairly well. You know, I didn't really go undefeated. I lost like 3 fights. 3 tough fights. But it gets used to getting into the game. But career mode has been really, really revamped and changed. And what I mean by that is, in the past career modes, it was the most annoying shit ever. You would have to wait 8 weeks for a motherfucking fight, doing all these stupid training games, while watching your 1 stats go down and your 1 stats go up, and you're like, oh my god, how can I get my stats all the way? I mean, fuck, I'm trying to fight Quay Guido over here who knows how to take down. I don't know how to fucking take down, so I'm gonna get my ass kicked. That's how it was, and it's just like, it was so stupid, and it was dumb. In this game now, it's different. In the career mode, you have a thing called a game plan. And with this game plan, it sticks with you for the whole game unless you want to change it up. So say if you're like, okay, I want a game plan for this fighter. I want to be aggressive in this fight. You click the aggressive, you play the training mode for aggressive, you earn the stats for that, and then you try to stick to that game plan throughout the fight. And the more you're good with your game plan, the more stats you will get throughout the game. So it's really like, man, I should really follow this game plan. And by the time, like, you know, once you stick to this game plan long enough, because I was doing like aggressive game plan, stick and move game plan where you just basically strike also and back up, and then the ground and pound game plan, I switched between those 3 game plans. My takedowns were better, my aggressive fighting style was better, and then my freaking footwork and my movements and blocking were so much better. And at the time now, when I was like losing fights, it was like, oh, okay, I'm sticking to my game plan though, I'm not really hurting myself. I get into these later fights where I'm like in Pride. Yeah, you can fight in Pride in career mode now. And even the welterweights and the bantamweights, I was just killing them in the later fights because I was sticking to my game plan and I was getting all these experience points up the ass. And that's the cool thing about this game. It's more of a UFC fighting game. And even if your overall is not the highest, you can still do a very good job in this game when it comes down to fighting. So pretty much it's a very fun, entertaining game once you get the hang of it and once you understand it. The mini games are also cool too. Normally the mini games are just bullshit, but these ones actually help you improve with the game and get used to the clunky controls it can have sometimes. That's one thing. The UFC games always were known for being clunky. I think they smoothed this one out and it's really, really fun. Also with career mode, if you don't feel like doing a creative fighter because you don't want to pretend to be a UFC fighter, you can choose your own favorite fighter. Have him start when he's 20 years old of his career, and he will basically be fighting until the UFC tells him to retire, and you can do it. So say if you're a fan of Tito Ortiz or Forrest Griffin or someone like that for that matter, you can play as them and make their career how you want. You want Tito to go undefeated, you want Forrest to lose a shit and then win the title. You know, you can do a lot of things. And that's a cool thing. The UFC has these little nice video packages like my first title fight, my first professional fight. It's pretty cool. I like career mode, and the freedom to finally move between weight classes at ease, going to Pride, fighting in the UFC. You know, it's really fun, and I really do enjoy the career mode a lot in this game. Problem is, it's kind of short, and that's the only thing. Sometimes, like, you know, 8 hours, you guys are saying, no, that's not fucking short. For me, that's, for video game fans everywhere, that's kind of short, especially if all you do is play video games. Now, today was like my day off. I finally got a day off of school and bullshit, and I was like, damn, dude, I gotta play this UFC game. I haven't touched it yet, and I started playing it. Boy, was that shit, I was hooked on that shit fast. I took one break to basically go watch someone else play the UFC game, and that was pretty much it, and then I went back to playing it. The other mode in this game is the title mode, and this was featured in the last year's game. Now, title mode basically is you can choose a current fighter from the UFC product, even the champions, John Jones, Frankie Edgar, you know, just to name a few. You can choose the champions, and you can have them go through a road to the title victory. It's pretty much like an arcade mode. So if you lose 3 times in this title mode, you're done. Game's over. Title mode's done. You can retry it again. But if you win the title in title mode, which is fairly kind of easy, I'm gonna actually go do title mode here in a minute with my boy Uriah Faber, or maybe even Jake Shields, because his rating in the game is not as high. I might do that. And also, I haven't done a submission yet in the game. But the title mode is basically where you choose a fighter, you have them, you know, win the title, whatever. You do that type of stuff. But even after that, once you win the title, once you're like, yeah, I'm in the title mode, I'm awesome. Once you do that, then you go on to title defense mode. And basically this is where you're the champion of whatever division you won with that fighter that you won with. You go on, defend the title, and you can defend it a bunch of times. I haven't heard much of a gist of it. All I know is there's an achievement where you have to defend it 25 fucking times. So that's pretty much what I got out of it. Then it comes down to my favorite mode, one of my favorite modes from the past games, UFC event mode. And what the event mode is past fights. They choose past fights. It's like the ESPN Fight Night Classics, you know, those, or like what they did in 2K12, the NBA Greatest. You get to play as them, and they have like 3 different ones. You have the Pride Greatest Moments, you know, UFC Ultimate Upsets, UFC Ultimate Knockouts, and what you can do in this one is you can actually choose between the 2 different fighters, and what you have to do is get them all up to 100%. Each fighter has their own task, so you can actually recreate the fight or change the history of the fight. So say if you're playing as Wanderlei Silva in Pride, it'll have a thing where it's like, alright, clinch Rampage, then you have a taskbar fill up. Muay Thai knee him 6 times, then you do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then after you do that, they go take him down. Then you take him down. Then they're like soccer kick him, and then you do it. And then once the task bar is at 100%, you know, and you win the way that they want you to win, it's like over. It's like, wow, that's really cool. You can actually recreate that. And then you can go on the other hand with Rampage and be able like take down Wanderlei, Rampage bomb him. Like, you know, they give you these cool events. I made up the Rampage one. I don't know. I saw the Wanderlei one on YouTube, so that's how I kind of know what he did. But yeah, it's really cool, and I love UFC event mode, especially the video packages. Very cool. You know, they have like a bunch of good upsets on there. They got the Joe Daddy Stevenson upset that he made, Frankie Edgar and BJ Penn. Excited to play all those. I can't wait to jump into event mode. I probably will do event mode before I do title mode. But yeah, those are pretty much the modes of UFC. Now, everyone's favorite, people are going to probably talk about it. Pride? Pride? Yes, there's Pride. Pride mode is pretty cool. With Pride mode, and this is probably some people's questions, well, most MMA fans' questions that haven't got the game yet. What about the featherweight and bantamweights? Because if I remember correctly, there is no featherweights and bantamweights in Pride. The featherweights and bantamweights are covered in Pride. What they do is they fight in the lightweight division, and they are basically given lightweight kind of stats. Where instead of, you know, if a lightweight actually fought a featherweight, they get knocked out quickly, they're just as good as a lightweight. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't make it uneven, especially if you are a featherweight or bantamweight character playing in the UFC story mode. Now, besides that, that's pretty much what UFC has to offer. So what's the final grade for the UFC Undisputed 3? And oh my god, my PS3 controller fell. Whatever. What's the final grade for the UFC Undisputed 3? UFC Undisputed 3 is a fun game. if you are new to the series and new to the video game itself and new to the franchise itself, suggest to start this game on beginner. Don't try to act like you're the best gamer in the world. You're not. Not everyone's good at every single video game. Start this on beginner if you do not understand MMA. Watch a tutorial is really good, and watch some MMA fights to maybe educate you. But besides that, I think people that want to learn about the UFC, pick up this game. It will teach you everything about side control, mounts, all these terminologies that you don't know. Will show you different aspects, get you to know the fighters. There's 150 fucking fighters in here. You can finally figure out the guys like Jim fucking Miller, Melvin Gillard, Takanori Gomi, Pride fucking legend, man. You can learn about those guys. You can learn about the losers in the welterweight division, like George Roop. I believe he's in the welterweight division. You can remember good fighters like back in the day, like Sean Shirk and Mike Schwick. You can play as the legendary Royce Gracie. You can do anything. So, pretty much, this game overall, final grade, a B-. I give it a B- based on just being a video game itself. The reason being is the difficulty kind of doesn't get hard if you really know MMA well. I'm playing on advanced, and my guy's stats are probably like an 86 right now, and it really isn't that hard. It's like oh, okay, I'm doing how I would probably fight in real life if I ever did fight, using that type of strategy, and it's like not that hard. It's just a fun little simple game. There's many ways to win in this game, and there's many ways where you can find opponents' weaknesses and make them your strengths. So the game is particularly not that hard once you get the hang of it. It takes a while to get the hang of it, but once you get the hang of it, you pretty much have it. So pretty much B- is the final grade. For all you guys that got UFC Undisputed 3, tell me what you guys like about it. Tell me what you guys dislike about it. Follow me on Twitter. Add me on the Facebook of Chase Oliver 68. Not my real life Facebook. Stop sending me friend requests on there, people. I'm not going to respond to you. Did I say Twitter already? Yeah. Subscribe to the Excellence of Wrestling. Go check out CO Live videos for that Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories swag getting up there once I'm done filming this review, and once that gets posted, Chain of Memories might be uploading soon. So, yeah, pretty much. Go check out the CO Live. Go check out everything else related to me. Subscribe if you haven't. This is Chase Oliver 68. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. See y'all.